Hello and welcome to this new video. At the date of recording, it is January 26th, so that means that yesterday we had the first battle of the Road to Las Vegas Series 2024, which is valid for the qualification to the Excel World Championship 2024. I did pretty well, I think. I scored in the top 10, even if I thought I have done a better job. But the idea for today is to have a walkthrough, basically, of the case we had yesterday, which is called Doggy Daycare, designed by David Brown. Overall, I think it was a very nice case. A little bit different from the previous ones because it had five bonus questions and eight levels of increasing difficulty. So a quite long case, even if the first levels were very easy, so manageable for all the level of competitors. So let's dive into it and see what is basically the at least my solution and potentially also some better approaches to the different levels to see what I missed during the game. What I will do first of all is to copy my brand new worksheet, which I use to have a ready to use structure here because I usually approach these kind of cases with a solver worksheet um, plus a set of lambdas which are very useful, and I found them very useful especially for this case, and you will see why very shortly. So basically, the idea is to have dogs going around a space, which is represented here. The first levels are about the movement, basically, of the dogs inside the space. So you need to get familiar with this kind of pattern in order to identify basically where they're going into the space. So first level asks to understand what is the sum of the numbers in all of the movement cells. So you basically can ignore the directions and see only what are the numbers of cells that the dog has moved. So I have a lambda for this, which is very useful, which is my extract numbers, which basically separates the numbers from the non-numbers characters of a string. The idea behind this lambda is quite simple. So you first of all uh, sort of do a text split on the string using as column delimiter the sequence basically of all the different numbers. So you have 10 starting from, sorry, you have 10, yes. So you basically get all the non-number digits, sorry, not digits, characters, and then you do the same thing using the result of this first split. So you basically do a text split again. The column delimiter will be this, and then you ignore empty again, and you get the number. So the idea is basically that. Credits to Diarmuid, of course, because he showed a similar trick in the boot camp that together with Giles has been recently released on their channel. So I strongly recommend to have a look if you didn't already. There are lots of videos which are extremely useful to take you from zero to a very decent level to take part in this kind of competitions. So having said that, the idea here is very simple. So you just need to sum basically those numbers and you will get the desired results. So you can just copy down this and the answer is simply this sum. So that's level one. Level two asks how many times does the dog move in the same direction as the given arrow. So basically, um, you're given a first direction arrow, and then it asks how many times into the sequence you will find this kind of direction. I find it simpler to go to my helper worksheet. I don't know for which reason I got a big zoom here in the Excel. If anyone knows in the comment, please let me know so that I can go back to a decent dimension. Anyway, what I did, I think yesterday was something like this. So transpose this, then I leverage the fact that the digits, so the movement is always less than 10. So if you do the right of this, you will take for sure the direction. I double check this into the data set, and then you can do a simple countifs on this range to understand how many occurrence you have of this given arrow. In this case, is 4, which matches the example. Then you can build a data table, and you're basically done also for level 2. So I can quickly see which are the answers that match level 2, and that's it. Let's move to level 3, because now the request is to understand the sum of the distance traveled over the 20 turns moving at the diagonal doubles the distance traveled. So when a dog moves on a cell in a diagonal direction, it moves on one cell horizontally and one cell vertically for a total of 2 cells lengths. What is the sum of the distance traveled over the 20 turns? Okay. Well, there are two kinds to approach this. Either you build the logic exactly as stated, or, but I think I did this in level 4. You understand really where you're going to go by applying these movements. Let's say you start from cell A1 and you apply all these movements, you will end up in cell something, and you calculate the distance from the end cell compared to the starting cell. But you need to be careful, because you may go out of bounds if you, for example, place yourself in cell A1. In the first iteration, you will try to go up, and it's not feasible because you will go outside the sheet. So maybe it's more conservative to place yourself, let's say, row 1000, column 1000, so you're pretty sure you're not going to go out of bounds. Anyway, let's tackle this with a standard approach. So in this case, need to be careful, because this time you don't have a given sample error to start with. What I did is, well, you could do left here and right here without leverage any particular lambda, and you get the two information separated. Then I have another lambda, which is very nice, which maps the arrow to their corresponding offset. So in this case, this will be the row offset, and this will be the column offset. So means that in this case, you are going one cell up, so -1 in the rows, and one cell right, so +1 in the column offset. Then basically the ask is how many cells you have moved. What I did was, I think, this times if the absolute of this plus the absolute of this equals 2, it means you have a diagonal movement, then you double, otherwise you don't double. And I think that's it, because if I go and sum this thing here, I think I should be done. So 68 is the first answer, which is correct. So let's take the results from level 41 to 60, and here we go. Level 4. That's all the farthest I went. You want to know how far dog traveled? Okay. So basically, the idea is what I said 1 minute ago, I think. How far the dog moves vertically and horizontally each turn, and calculate the net distance traveled. So it means that if you go one cell right and then one cell left, the net distance moved, of course, is 0. So in this case, I found it more simple to calculate the distance from the end cell to the start cell. So what I did, I said, well, let's start from cell, I don't know, AZ1000. Okay, I built another lambda, which is target address, which basically takes a base address, adds a row offset, which is this times the distance, and the column offset, which is this times distance. Okay. Uh, and that's it, I think, because you go, in this case two cells right, so AZ plus 2 should be cell BB. Let's check just to be sure, and yes, it is correct. And then two cells up, so from row 1000 to row 998. Then I will simply link the next one to this, and then I will leverage the same idea. Oops. And that's it basically. So you end up in cell AX something. Let's check that I have everything. And then it's only a matter of calculating the distance from the last one to the first one. How can we do that? Well, uh, Mm. Because I think I built a lambda during the grace period that you have when you can see the video before the start of the competition, because I saw this kind of question during the introduction video, and I thought of this approach, so I quickly built a lambda to calculate the distance between two cells. Well, the idea is to calculate the distance between the rows, the distance between the columns, and sum them, because a diagonal movement account for one step horizontally and one step vertically. So you first of all need to separate the numeric component from the column component. So I would extract the number again in this case, and also in this one. Then what you can do is to leverage this, so you can substitute what you just extracted here, and you get the column. So this is robust because you have one letter, two letters, three letters column. It works independently of how many digits is the row number, and vice versa. Then you can say that you are interested in the column. Well, actually, this is not needed because, yeah, no, there is a better way to do this. Because I say that I want a row of indirect of this, I will get the same thing. Uh, because you cannot say row of this, otherwise it will give you 8. You need to use the indirect to make this working as a reference. And then the same thing for the column. Yes, that's what I think I did during the competition, which is way clever. And then you simply say that you want the absolute value of this minus this, and same thing here. And then you can sum, so you should have 16 as the first, no, as the first answer. Yeah, the problem is that I was pointing to the wrong data set, so this and this. So 5 plus 3, 8, which is not right. That's interesting. Two, 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 two. That's weird because it worked right away during the competition. Mm, 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 mm. What is going on here? This is the distance for the most vertical intervals 1 and 3. Uh, that's kind of weird. 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 2. Hmm. Row and column, that's correct. Uh, 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 uh. This is 5. No, there's something. Okay, 3 rows away and 5 columns away. Hmm, that's quite interesting. Mm, 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 mm. I'm probably missing something very, very simple. I'm sure this is not going to work. No, completely. Uh, at some point, I had a weird feeling about this, and so I didn't trust that, and I did like this, but of course, changes nothing because the algorithm is the same. Mm, yeah, uh, it's simply because this is the starting cell, not the end cell of the first movement. Okay, and in fact, it is 4. Okay, you can see how easy it is to get lost in a glass of water. I don't know if this is an English sentence, but in Italian we say like this. Okay, so we can move to level 5. You want to know what cell dog is after traveling from starting position after 5 turns is the movement. Okay, so this is basically free compared to the considering the algorithm we just built. Um, okay. So the only difference is that now the starting cell is this one, and in this case I need to get only those 5 steps. And so the end cell is AL8, which I think is correct. So yes, this was basically free. So it was a smart decision to use that approach for the previous level. And that's basically it for level 5. Yes. Okay. Then level 6, it's time to let the dogs run wild. The dogs move around the facility playing, eating, and taking baths. Your job is to make sure they're all based on the each dog's starting silent movement per turn. Determine on which turns the dogs eat food. Dogs will eat whenever they finish a turn on a light brown cross-hatched cell. Some the turn numbers that each dog eats food. Dogs will not move outside the doggy daycare borders. Okay, some determine numbers that each dog eats food. Okay, so basically they're going to eat if they are inside those brown areas. What I did is to first of all duplicate the map because I don't want to mess up the existing one. So map copy. Uh, you can tag those, for example, with F stands for food. So this, no, uh, this, this, and this. Okay. So example 6. Okay, you're given a starting cell. This time the movement list is longer. Uh, I don't need those anymore, I think. What I'm interested in doing is to understand if there is food in the target cell at each turn. So I will do an indirect of map copy and this. And basically it will return the F if there is any food. And so minus minus this equals F. Come on. Okay, and I think I need the turn number, and I think I some product basically this and this. Yeah. So 27, which is right. I need to extend a little bit this, let's say 250. I don't know how many there needed. And I need to reference this. So let's build the data table again. Update. And I think is 101 to 120 because there are all of 20 levels, and that's okay. Level 7, and that's was how far I got during the competition, except a couple of bonuses. It's bath time. Using all the rules from level 6, dogs will now have to take a bath if they end their turn on a light blue horizontally striped cell. When they take a bath, they skip their next two turns of movement. Not that dogs only take baths the first time they finish in the bath zone. I think this is a little bit misleading, and I will tell you why in a second. Some the turn numbers that each dog eats food. Note that on level 7 dogs will not move outside the doggy daycare borders. Okay, so I go here, I say this is W of water. Okay, uh, I'm already leveraging the indirect to understand if there is any water in that cell. My first understanding of this is that you cannot take a bath twice in the same cell, but thinking of this without the pressure of the competition doesn't make much sense. So uh, when I saw the results and the results of the example were not matching with the example result, I understood that basically it means that if you are already in a water zone, you cannot take another bath. So you will first of all need to exit the bath zone and then enter again. And I think maybe this is wrong as well. And potentially you only need to say that you ignore the following two turns, and whatever happens in the third one, you will go with it. So, um, having said that, this is the food. I will add a couple of columns more. First of all, I will call this valid. So uh, if and this are not W, then it's one, otherwise it's zero. Okay, so I'm basically skipping the next two turns. Then, then, hmm. And what if I say, look if, or these two, so the previous two equals water, then I don't move, otherwise I move. I need to close the OR condition. Okay. Uh, no, there's something clearly not working here. Because okay, here move, then here I don't move. You will skip the next two turns. Mm, 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 mm. Because okay, I go in the water, I skip this and this, but then here I need to move on. I need to move on. And maybe let's also say and or this equals 1, this equals 1, so they need to be true. Uh, hmm, okay, so now I'm moving. And then if I sum product, the food seems to be working, but I'm not so sure about this. Let's see if the first answers match. So 121 to 140. Yes, they do. So yeah, it's correct. Okay. I was here in the competition. Then I realized that level 8 was probably too much to do in the time allocation, so I went straight away on the bonus questions. The first one is really simple. So how many cells are in the feeding and butting area combined? You just need to sum, basically to count the non-blank cells. The answer is 142, and that's it. Then the second one is easy, but probably a little bit time consuming. I didn't do that during the competition. And instead I did bonus 3 and bonus 4, but ultimately getting them both wrong, because level bonus 3 asks across levels 5 to 8 what is the sum of the row numbers and column numbers of all the for all the of the starting cells. Said before would have a value of 6, so row 4, column 2. So I went to level 5 and 8, level 5 to 8, and they said, well, maybe there is a better way to do this, because I could leverage this. So 5 to 8 will be 81 to 160. So a sequence of 80 starting from 81. Yes. What if I do simply this? Okay, this was much faster. And then it's just a matter of say column of this, direct of this, and row of indirect of this. If that was before, it was 6. Yes, so matches the example. Uh, Copy down and sum everything. Yeah, but I got 4,170, which I suspect is not correct. No, instead it is. That's interesting. So I don't know what I bombed during the competition, but again, this was very simple to do. So first silly mistake. And bonus 4 is the one that I regretting the most, because it was kind of simple compared considering the structure I built and also the lambda I can use. And it says if a dog starts in cell AAA 1000 and follows all the movements direction in games 121 to 160, what cell will it finish in? Note that the dog will not leave the Excel sheet at any time, so you will not go out of bounds. Uh, Honestly, pretty easy, because uh, I don't know why so zoomed in, but so it asks for 121 to 160. So what I did is exactly this. I took the direction here. I took the, let's check, okay. I took the directions here. Then I said I wanted to call of this. I wanted to call of this. I want a V-stack of the two pieces. So basically I made two columns out of these two rectangles, and then I said put them one above the other. And that is basically a matter of replicating this structure. So I just copied this. So this is the idea. Then you start in AAA 1000. Um, and you get rid of all this stuff here. You copy down. Okay, it's clearly not working, but let's check what is happening. Uh, so the base address is AAA 1000. Then you have n times L. So the row offset times the distance, and you have the O times L, so the column offset and the distance. And you also need to link this, otherwise it's not going to be very good. And you get AHT909, which is, I think, the correct answer. Okay, and it's 950. So that was what I thought I got during the competition. Unfortunately, when I checked my workbook after the submission, I found that here, instead of taking um, the amount of movement, I refer to the two times to the offset column. So basically, I bumped the answer for this silly question. The logic was exactly the same. I was two times stupid because I didn't check my formula to point to the correct cell. And also the answer I got, I remember still it's very nice. It's like CPR 1000. And I said, look, 1000 is very nice number. It's not a coincidence. Let's go for it without checking everything. But CPR is probably very, very, very far away from AAA in terms of cell. It's potentially, I don't know, 26 times 26 times 26 because you have to move several slots of 26 columns and potentially even more. So it's not very, very clever as an answer, but it is what it is. So having said that, let's move to level 8 because level 8 asks for same rules of level 6 and 7, but now the dogs have room to run an extra energy from eating. Whenever dogs eat for the next 3 turns, their movement distance is doubled. In addition, when dogs reach the border of the doggy daycare, they must stay within its walls. But if the border restricts movement in one direction, it does not restrict movement in the other direction. For example, if a dog is in cell C27 and wants to move 5 cells up and left, okay, so mm, that's that's not a very complicated question, but I quickly realized that with my current setup, what was an advantage in the previous level, so having this lambda built is not so an advantage in this case because my lambda doesn't manage the boundaries. I will probably go and build one after this battle, and so I will need basically to build again the logic to understand what is the target cell with the management of the boundaries. So that's not complicated, but not a 30-second thing. It's a 30 seconds thing. Plus you have this extra energy thing that you need to manage. So for the next 3 turns, their movement distance is doubled. Uh, okay, so let's start from this, which is simple. So double. Um, let's get multiplier food. I like it better. Maybe with the double. So this is one. If or this equals food, it's two, otherwise it's one. Okay. So basically, this doubled, fine, and then I will just need to say that in this case I'm moving times the multiplier. Is it that simple? So example 8. Okay, I need to consider additional steps. And in fact, you can see that at some time this goes in an error because potentially AP 5 cells up, AP4 goes out of bounds. So you must stay within its walls. If the border restricts movement in one direction, it does not restrict movement in the other direction, for example. Okay. C27 wants to move the 5 cells up and left. It will end up in cell B22. Because the boundary is not okay. So cell B and row 2. Okay. So boundaries are B, AY, 2 and 51. Better to take note. So so we have B, AI, 2, and I don't remember how much, 51. So those are the boundaries. Um, I need 100 turns this time. Okay. Taking too many cells. Yes. Okay. So what happens that if I get an error here, I will need to manage the out of bounds. So let's add a few more columns. Let's say that I will take the row of indirect of this. I will take the column of indirect of this. And then I will say if is error this, it means out of bound, otherwise zero. So out of bound. Fantastic. If I go out of bound, I will move until the limit is reached. Yes. But yeah, I don't need to replicate this logic to see if I have to move because simply if I have an error here, it means I've moved. So I can ignore that logic. And so I can say that this will be this will be the address row number. It will be this times this times the row offset times the multiplier. Let's not forget it. But this is not managing the bound, so I need to say min max of. So max means that I will take the lower bound, and min means I will take the upper bound. For column number, I will do this time plus this times the multiplier. Okay, and same thing. So I will need to say min max, but I need those converted to numbers because now I have the letters. So with max, I need to take the small one, yes, and with min, I will need to take the big one. Lock and lock. Absolute force, I want a relative address. Okay. Uh, B is 2, AY is 51. Yes. Oh, so stupid. I have also the numbers here. So 2 and 51. So let's see what happens. Because in this case I have AP4, I want to go 5 up, and correctly I go to AP2. So that's correct. And then let's say if error this, I want this. Mm, why? I'm getting her here. So AP2 is right. And then I want to go one left, so it should be simply AO2. But what is going on wrong here? I'm taking some error at some point. Ah, okay. That's the problem. Uh, okay. So I need an error here as well. 2 points here. Okay. Uh, I might be good with this. 89, is that right? No, completely not. Uh, hmm. I keep enlarging this because I add columns. Uh, what is the husk? Some determined numbers that each dog eats food. So the husk is the same. Is this level 8 actually as a dataset? Yes, it is. Hmm. This video is gonna be quite long, I'm afraid. Uh, so AO2, AO2, then out of bound again, AM2, 2, this time I go AM7. Whenever dog is here for the next 3 turns, their movement distance is double the addition when dogs reach the border. Oh, maybe I'm afraid that here when I look at the multiplier, I ignore the fact that there might be no movement if they are in the water. Because for example here I add food, but then this turn I will need to skip, and this as well. Then I move again. I don't know. Just out of curiosity, let's see if, well, maybe I don't know if there is any chance that you have zeros here or no. I tried to guess during the competition and don't remember the number I put. Probably I got very lucky. 30 and 50. No. I'm curious to see if there are any correct answer with this logic. This 141 to 160. No, there are some errors also. No, I've got something. Just out of curiosity, that will be, yeah, of course, because there are errors here. So let's see, 1020. Uh, Now dogs have to run. The movement distance is double. In addition, when dogs reach the border, the dog, yeah, they must stay within its walls. The border restricts movement in one direction. It does not restrict movement. Uh, the start say, oh, turn on to AP. Turn 12. Dog tries to move up 5 cells. However, the border is a throw. So the dog continues to move through the space, and that's in cell 80 on turn 38. Let's see if this is. No. On turn 9, it's. That's completely wrong. AP4. Yeah, AP4 in turn 9. Okay. On turn 12, tries to move up and it goes in AP2. Yes. Yeah, and then something goes wrong because in turn 38 it should be in cell 8010 and I'm in AS10. Just for one cell I have a problem, which has food. Gets double monitor, continues to move through the space and does not hit again through turn 100, giving an answer of 38. Well, that's interesting. Turn 38. So apparently there's something wrong with the movement. So until turn 9 it's right, and also turn 12. AP, AO, AO2 up, it's AM2, yes, AM5 down, AM7, AJ10, 1, 2, 3, yeah, AM. Because at some point I get again to AW1, I want to go 3 up. Okay, I got it. I got it because to understand if I went out of bound, I just took the error, but it's not right because if I go, for example, is in AW1, it's not feasible because I'm already beyond in terms of rows. So it's not good. It's not good because I need to do the same thing here and check the out of bound also from a row and column perspective. So row and column. So if is error, this is equals okay. Otherwise, if or this less than 2, this greater than 51, this less than 2, this greater than 51, it's 1, otherwise it's 0. So that's the problem. Okay. If this equals 0, this otherwise that one. And then the starting one, this starting one. Okay, also plus if this equals 0, oh my god, this is equal 0, I will get this, otherwise I will get this. So I think now it should match. So yes, I had food in turn 38 and 38 is correct answer. I told you this was not a 2-second thing, but now it should match everything. There are still some errors. I would like to understand why, but I'm afraid this would take too long. So 146 is still wrong. Uh, 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 uh. So apparently there is no food at all here, which is not right. 146. Let's see what is the correct answer. Patreon tart 67 I'm supposed to eat, but I'm not. No, it's too long to debug. I will let this go. I want just to have a look at the bonus 2 and bonus 5. So bonus 2 asks one direction appears more often than any other. How many times does that direction appear in all movements given in a game in all games? Exclude examples and directions without an associated movement amount. Okay. So I have a sequence of 160 games. I want to pull out all the info that I can. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. What if I do a to call of two separate pieces of information? Does it work? That's weird. No, it does not work. Okay. Mm, let's see. Let's say that I want to check all the arrows. I'm afraid I will need to take them from somewhere, so I will do a transpose of right of all of them, hoping that I have all the arrows. And let x be this. I will do a unique of x. No, I didn't need the I didn't need the let, but anyway. Okay. This time we will go with the substitute. So substitute this. Sorry, the len of substitute. Hmm. And I need to sum. Is the len of this minus the len of this, and I will sum, and I will lock columns, lock columns, lock row. Okay, this works. No columns. This might be quite time consuming. That's why I didn't do that during the competition. Better to have this. No, because that's not locked. Oh god, this video is going to be 1 hour long, I'm afraid. What if I go beyond? It works. I can copy down here because the first column is not going to have an impact. Okay, and maybe now I can sum all this thing here. What is the request? How many times does the direction appear on movements? Let's take the max of this. Okay. In level 8, as the dogs move throughout the daycare, how often do they end up in the same cell together? Consider the movements in games and determine how many times. Okay. I'm not going to have the correct answers from this because I have some errors in level 8, but dogs move throughout the daycare. How often do they end up in the same cell together? What does that mean? Consider all the movements in games and determine how many times two dogs are in the same cell on the same turn. Why? Do we have different dogs in level 8? Do they, does it mean that one dog is one game of levels 141, 160? Do they end up in the same cell together? Moments determine how many times two dogs are in the same cell on the same turn. Yeah, potentially yes. Uh, Potentially yes. That's an interesting question because basically, uh, what I probably need is a data table in which I have the 100 turns here. I have the for 141 to 160, so 20, 141. And I want to know which cell are they in. If the out of bound is 0, uh, I take this, otherwise I take this other one. And then I say that this is the level and this is the turn number, so this. Mm, no, not quite. I need something else. Uh, I take an index. Oh, this is tricky. This is tricky because if no, I want to have this. So if the out of bound is 0, I take this one. Otherwise, I take this one. Okay, and then I can index this. So this will be the index of this row number, this, and then yes, I can say this is working. This might be a little bit heavy to calculate. Oh, it's one line at a time. I hope you can see it in the screen. So we'll take probably a minute or so to calculate. In the meantime, we're past 1 hour to have the full comment of this case. Okay, so the request is consider determine how many times two dogs are in the same cell on the same turn. So basically, oh, that's not easy. At least if I'm not losing something, do they end up in the same cell together? Consider the movements in game 141, 160. Determine how many times two dogs are in the same cell on the same turn. To do the countifs of this, lock the row. I think it's something like this. And then I do a countifs of, I know, greater than 1. 32, but I'm not confident because I don't have level 8 correct. And in fact, it's not correct. Let's see, just to check what is the correct answer. 15. So yeah, there's probably something wrong, but I think the logic might be something like this if of course, the interpretation of the answer of the question is correct. Guys, I will stop the video here for today. I hope you enjoyed this solution and found that useful. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.